If we'd all stand. Tito Mata, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, sir. It's be an honor. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Brad, would you give us the invocation?
Yes, please remain standing for the prayer. Father God, we thank you in the name of Jesus for this nation we're blessed to be a part of. Lord, we ask that your presence be here in a special way today. Lord, first of all, we want to ask you to bless the families of those that lost loved ones in the tornadoes in Oklahoma. Lord, we ask you to comfort each one of them, help them put their lives together. Lord, I ask you to lead and guide others around them to be the blessing that they need right now. Lead and guide us as anything we can do. Lord, we thank you for the elections that we just had, for the process that we're blessed to have in this nation. Lord God, I ask you to give a special blessing today on Commissioner Rose Gowan and her new term, and Commissioner John Villarreal. Lead and guide them in this new term to be all that you desire them to be. Lord, we also ask you to have your way in the election that's pending with the runoff coming up, and lead and guide the voters. Lord, for this meeting today, lead and guide the mayor and each of the commissioners to see further in advance, see the future concerning each issue on the agenda, and to do what's best for the city of Brownsville. We ask all these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Okay, Stella.
Item number 1, consideration and action on resolution number 2013-032, approving the returns canvassed and declaring the result of the general municipal election held on the 11th day of May 2013 for the purpose of electing an at-large Commissioner B, a District Commissioner 3, and a District Commissioner 4. You have the screen?
You need to read the resolution?
We got handouts of all those, is that correct?
You have emails on all of these.
Okay.
In District 3, there was a total vote of 1,540 with a possibility of, well, there is going to be a runoff, and we'll be having a resolution for that after we do the oaths here at the
So
office.
I'll consider a motion as an action item.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'll be reading items 2 and 3 together. Issuance of certificates of election for at-large Commissioner re-elect Rose Gowan and District Commissioner re-elect John Villarreal. And number 3, administration of oaths of office for at-large B Commissioner re-elect Rose Gowan and District Commissioner re-elect John Villarreal, and assumption of duties by elected officials. Commissioner Gowan, if you'd like to step down for the oath.
I, Rose Gowan,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly
I
affirm
have not directly or indirectly
that I have not directly or indirectly
paid, offered, or promised to pay,
paid, offered, or promised to pay,
contributed or promised to contribute
contributed or promised to contribute
any money or thing of value,
any money or thing of value,
or promised any public office
or promised any public office
or employment
or employment
for the giving or withholding of a vote
for the giving or withholding of a vote
at the election at which I was elected,
at the election at which I was elected,
so help me God.
so help me God. It's okay. Just hold on
Good afternoon, everyone. Commissioners, Mr. Mayor.
Judge.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, public service can be a difficult job, but I also truly believe it can be one of the most rewarding jobs in anyone's career. So I want to take this opportunity to not only thank Rosemarie for exemplary service in the past, but thank her in advance for her future service to our great city. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And it is with great honor that I now administer the oath of office. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand. I, Rosemarie Gowan,
I, Rosemarie Gowan,
do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute
do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute
the duties as Commissioner at Large B
the duties as Commissioner at Large B
of the City of Brownsville, Cameron County
of the City of Brownsville, Cameron County
of the State of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. May I say a few words, or do I? I'm sorry? Can I? I wanted to say thank you very much, Judge, for coming out today. Thank you, the Commission, and the Mayor, and City staff for arranging all of this. And Chris Davis is in the audience. Thank you for the election. I want to thank my family first and foremost. My husband and my children are here. I appreciate your coming and your support every day. I thank my team. Some of you are here tonight. You've never let me down, and I very much appreciate your support. And lastly, I want to thank everyone who went out and voted. Thank you very much for supporting us and the vision of a better Brownsville.
I'm going to read you the statement. I, John Villarreal. You could repeat after me. I, John Villarreal,
I, John Villarreal,
do solemnly affirm
that I have not directly or indirectly paid,
offered or promised to pay, contributed or promised to contribute any money or thing of value, promised any public office or employment for the giving or withholding of a vote at the election at which I was elected, so help me God.
So help me God.
And then sign this one too. This is the old there. Okay. And you can go ahead and sign it if you want to already. Okay. I didn't say you were going to sign it. Yeah, because we're going to just do two originals. Okay. That's the one we'll read. Go ahead and sign. Well, I'll sign it after I give it to you. Okay. Okay.
Mayor, Commissioners, thank y'all very much. City staff and everybody that is here. It really is a very truly special honor for me to be here to swear John in again. 2 years ago, I had the privilege, as I was a new judge and he was a new commissioner, so it was a very special time in both of our lives to put ourselves out in public service. John, I can honestly stand here and say he did exactly what I said he was going to do 2 years ago. He didn't let us down. He surpassed our expectations, and he's made us proud. So it's an honor to be here again to swear in John, this time for another 4 years. Thank goodness. Okay. I'm going to read you your oath. If you please raise your right hand, John. I, John Villarreal,
I, John Villarreal,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties as Commissioner District 4
the duties as Commissioner District 4
of the City of Brownsville,
of the City of Brownsville,
Cameron County,
Cameron County,
of the State of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and the laws of the United States,
and the laws of the United States,
of this state,
so
help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, I have a few words, but I'm going to go ahead and read them from my seat. Okay. Good evening. 2 years ago, my passion for community service led me to seek public office. I was a new name in local politics, and as a marketing major, I quickly recognized the disadvantage I had of having no political name recognition. Without a track record preceding me, it was difficult to gain people's trust and vote, but campaigning day after day helped me change that. The second time around wasn't much easier. I now have a track record, and I'm subject to more scrutiny. Adding to the difficulty of this campaign was the commission workload and my commitment to give it priority over campaigning. There are too many important projects on the line, such as SpaceX and Tenasca, that cannot take a backseat to politics. During both campaigns, I was able to count on my wonderful family and faithful friends. From block walking in the hot sun and cold rain to labeling thousands of mail-outs, they were there for me, and I couldn't have done it without them. Since I am on the subject of family, I would like to take a moment to congratulate my parents for their 30th anniversary this past March of owning and operating our family business, La Milpa Tortilleria. They have made so many sacrifices and filled in for me while I fulfill my commission duties, and I want to thank them for that. My friends, who are also like family to me, also dedicated a lot of their time to my campaign. There are too many to list, but I will name a few that helped me a little extra. Starting with Commissioner Rick Longoria, who's like a brother to me, and the rest of the commission for always being so supportive. It's been a great honor working with you these past 2 years, and I'm looking forward to the next 4. My friends Juan Chapa, Vanessa Mancha, Mirna de Cos, Hilda Ledesma, Sister Tulia from St. Joseph Church, the entire Hernandez family, which most of them are here, Mrs. Elia Benavides, County Commissioner Sofia Benavides, which I saw in the audience, her lovely daughter, Mary Esther Garcia, was also a great help to me, and a good friend of many years, Jason Moody. And there are many, many more who help with contributions, volunteer work, prayers, and support along the way. In particular, I would like to thank my best friend and #1 supporter, my beautiful girlfriend, Lynette Benavides, which I think is running late a little bit. Yeah. But I want to thank her for her never-ending support. This campaign, just like all others, I'm sure, was an emotional roller coaster, and she was always there. And she proved to be strong and loving throughout the crazy ride. Now, we both share a passion for community service. She works for United Way, and I'm grateful I was able to count on her support because she recognizes the importance of community service. I would also like to thank everyone who took the time to exercise their right to vote. Voting is a right that was fought for and claimed many lives. one of the greatest signs of gratitude to our forefathers is done by voting, so thank you for doing so. Also added to the list of people or organizations that I want to help are the BPOA. I want to thank you all for your endorsement and your help throughout the campaign and for your work year-round for our city. Our city staff, who is second to none, in my opinion, and has always been there for me. And I want to thank you all for a great job you all do. And my father, who just walked in after closing down the business. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank God for allowing me the opportunity to continue to serve this great city. Thank you all.
Okay. To kind of as a segue to that, it's a good time to reflect. We've just finished an election and we've got a runoff to follow. But I do want to congratulate both commissioners that got reelected. I can tell you without a doubt, they have served well, they have served the community, they have served with their heart, and they have served with a purpose. They have served with a passion. I'd also like to take time to recognize their opponents that are here with us tonight. You know, we may have differences of opinion, and there may be all kinds of things that we disagree upon, but you know, it takes someone special to get into the ring and to run the race. So I respect you, I honor you, and I thank you for showing the interest in the city. I want to echo the sentiment that it's extremely important that we all exercise the right to vote. These turnouts, I know, are not impressive in many different situations, but you know, we're just going to build on something. It's a challenge for us and our neighbors to go out there and vote even more every time as we build this great city. And so for right now, I would like to do one last thing here before I close on this subject, and that is I need to take time, and I would like to have a moment of silence for the victims in Oklahoma. And if you all don't mind bowing your heads for a minute. You know, we never know when tragedy is going to hit, and if anybody has followed the television accounts, it is amazing, and the force of nature that can devastate a whole community. So, with that in mind, I want to make you aware that this coming Thursday on May the 30th, we will have our Brownsville Hurricane Awareness Fair at the Brownsville Public Library at Central Boulevard. It is extremely important. The County Commissioner, Sophia, and all elected officials, and Jeff Johnson, who is our Emergency Readiness Coordinator, that we get prepared. We know that we can't avoid any and all disasters, but the more prepared we are, the better off we are, so that we can take care of one another and help each other. So I invite you.
The National Weather Service is here too.
The National Weather Service is here as well. So there's, and forgive me, I just sitting there thinking about it, the tragedy is something that we must really understand and realize that no matter whether it's 6 minutes or 12 minutes, those moments are precious. So let's take a time to commit ourselves not only to voting, but to get ready for the weather that's forthcoming. And I think we'll have a little bit, you know, awareness of some of those things by virtue of some of the folks that are in the audience. With that being said, that's all my report.
Item 4,
Okay.
which is consideration and action.
I'm sorry, we have one commission.
I'm sorry, go
I
ahead.
have a couple of reports under commissioners' reports, if you don't mind.
We're-
Really quick.
Actually, we're not on the reports yet. I wanted to finish the post-election business.
Oh, because you went to number 4.
Before we continue with the
so-
reports,
Okay,
if that's all right.
all right. It's all right.
Item 4 is consideration and action on resolution number 2013-033, calling for a municipal runoff election to be held on June 22nd, 2013, for the purpose of electing a Commissioner District 3. Is there a,
Is
Move
it-
to approve? Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Now,
now we can
Commissioner.
go to reports.
Oh, it's because I see 2 number 4s on here, okay. I have a couple of pictures I wanted to show. This past weekend was our Hooked for Life Kids Gone Fishing event at the Brownsville Event Center, Resaca. We had about 2,200 kiddos registered to fish. We advertised that we would give out 1,500 fishing rods, but we actually gave out 2,000 fishing rods. We didn't let people know about that extra 500, but we did anticipate a large crowd. The 4-year-old you see pictured with a 31-inch catfish is Sebastian. He was our grand champion for the overall tournament. Only 4 years old, and he was able to reel that in with the help of his older brother. I'd like to also congratulate David Mendez, who is the founder of Hooked for Life. I'm a board member along with the organization, along with several other well-recognized community leaders and volunteers who spend year-round raising funds for this event, and it's an all-free event for the community. Everything's free, no registration fee. They're fed. We give out different prizes. We have various partners in the community like United Way. In fact, Chris Davis was our guest reader at the Book of the Month Club at the event. We had several other organizations there and numerous volunteers who helped with the event. This year was our 4th year. Our very first year, it was Kids Fish, and it kind of evolved into something much larger, and that's when David created a nonprofit, Hooked for Life. So I'm very grateful for him, and he's going through quite a hardship right now, recovering, going through chemo, and he did take a break just to come to this event and volunteer. So I'd like to recognize him publicly and give him a round of applause. I know he was going to try to be here. But he truly is a community hero. And also I'd like to thank the support of BCIC and fellow commissioners, and of course City Manager Charlie Kabler, who all provided additional resources to help fund the event, including the manpower through our Parks and Rec Department, Public Works, Fire Department, EMS, Police Department. Truly was a community-wide effort, so I thank you for that. Going on to my second part of my report, we do have a guest here, Ms. Yolanda Spees, who wanted to quickly present us with a couple of certificates. Do you want to come up?
I wrote a few little words, so I hope it's okay if I go ahead and do that first. First of all, in October of 2010, the Parents, Families, and Friends of Lesbians and Gays, or PFLAG, established a chapter here in Brownsville, Texas. In May of 2007, or rather in 2011, we were graciously put on the agenda by Ms. Zamora, Commissioner Zamora. The City Commission welcomed us with open arms by allowing us to introduce our organization to the City of Brownsville and listened intently as we discussed what we hope to see in the City of Brownsville. This basically forged a road toward equality in our city. We asked for equal rights, not special rights, and to this day, that's all that we ask. The city heard us loud and clear. The City Commission has made the effort to do that by cooperating us whenever we've had any kind of event, such as the marriage equality marches. Many have even showed up at our events to show their goodwill and support. Last year, Mark Saucy, Brownsville City Attorney, Allison Bastian, the Assistant City Attorney, and the entire city the City Commission showed their support once more, and today we would like to recognize them for their efforts. What many people don't realize is that the state of Texas is an at-will state. And what does that mean to people working in Texas? That means you can be fired for any reason, including but not limited to being lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. It shouldn't be that way, but sadly it is. There are pockets of communities where this does not apply, and I can proudly say Brownsville is not one of them. So For all that can be said concerning Brownsville, they can't say we aren't fair and that we aren't forward-thinking. Last year, Mark Saucy and Allison Bastian worked on an employment policy that would protect employees working for the city of Brownsville from being terminated based on their sexual orientation and gender identity/expression. The City Commission voted unanimously for this policy. They voted in favor of it, which is wonderful. In doing so, they ensured that employees working for the city of Brownsville would be protected from this type of discrimination. This was a powerful action that demonstrates that this behavior will not be tolerated in our community, at least not at the municipal government level. It seems ridiculous that you would have to codify something as simple as ensuring people's equality, but as we all know, if it isn't on record, it doesn't exist. And if it doesn't exist, then it's allowable. Thank you, Brownsville, for being the only city in the valley with this kind of policy. You have done a lot, but there is still a lot left to do. It isn't enough to protect employees from being terminated based on who they love. It's important to ensure that employees have the same rights and benefits as the other City of Brownsville employees. Equality means equal employment, equal protection, but it also means equal benefits. I don't think I need to emphasize the importance of what that means to someone trying to support a family. But as we all know, a civil servant's job is never done, even after they leave their position. Some of you will not be returning, but many of you will be staying on to continue working to make this community an outstanding and educated community. We are here today to recognize what you have done because it's a step in the right direction, and there are many steps to go. We hope you continue this path toward equality for all of your employees. Today, we recognize Mr. Saucy, Ms. Bastian, and the entire City Commission for doing your part to move equality forward. Please never stop working toward ensuring equality for everyone in city government and in the community, because after all, an educated community is a healthy community. Thank you. I also have these certificates. I guess we can just go ahead and hand them off to Mark, and he can pass them out to everybody. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Yolanda. Thanks, Mark.
Mayor, if you don't mind, just
Please go ahead.
thank you. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our city manager, our city staff, and everybody. Yesterday was a special day for me. I celebrated my 40th birthday, but also was my 10th anniversary here with the city of Brownsville. So I want to thank everybody, current employees, former employees, and everybody for all their dedication and for all the help that you've given me throughout the last 10 years. It's truly an honor, and I'm blessed to be here with this wonderful group of people and with all of you that I've worked with over the years. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
We have a proclamation.
And Commissioner Longoria, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
We have a proclamation for Playful City USA Community.
Okay, is that,
If you want to, I have a copy here. Stephanie, have them hold that and stand there. Yeah, you'll hold it, stand in the front. And then who wants to read it? Stephanie. Whoever's coming.
John, come on up here and turn around so we can see.
Right there, stand there.
Who posed for that? Was that you?
She has a camera.
Okay, is this on? Is it- no. Proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, proclaiming the City of Brownsville as 2013 Playful City USA community. Whereas play is a crucial factor in the overall well-being of children, and whereas play spaces and playgrounds within walking distance of children's homes are missing from many communities and neighborhoods, and whereas unstructured, unplanned, spontaneous, and self-motivated play is on the decline, and fewer children spend time outside at parks and playgrounds, and whereas recess is being shortened or removed from school curriculums, and whereas children who play outdoors or in gymnasiums are healthier and suffer less obesity and obesity-related health problems such as diabetes and heart disease, and whereas children who play do better in school and develop cognitive skills that are linked to learning and academic performance, and whereas children who play learn the social skills that help them become happy and well-adjusted adults, and whereas parents, schools, child care centers, nonprofit organizations, businesses, churches, synagogues, mosques, and all interested parties wish to raise this community's children to become healthy, happy, and successful adults. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the Charter of said city, do hereby proclaim the City of Brownsville, Texas as 2013 Playful City USA community in our city, and urge all of our citizens to celebrate and support efforts to build and maintain play spaces and playgrounds in their communities and neighborhoods for the well-being of this and future generations. Done on this 21st day of May 2013, Antonio Martinez, Mayor, and the City Commission.
Mayor, Commissioners, I just want to add a little bit of background here, but this was a grant opportunity that staff saw one morning and thought that it was a great opportunity, so within a couple hours knocked it out and crossed our fingers. We were awarded, and the great thing about this is now that we're recognized, we're put into the selective pool of cities, which makes us eligible for big pots of money for park maintenance, park improvement, park expansions. So we're really happy that we got this one out really quickly and we're recognized. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
And also, if I could just take the time, I want to introduce you guys to our newest grant writer, Roxanne Rosas.
Welcome.
Welcome, Roxanne.
Consent agenda items?
Consent agenda items, I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 5, consideration and action to appoint one member to the Brownsville Citizens Advisory Committee.
Mayor, Commissioners, we have one available slot in our 11-member committee. So I'm seeking your approval today, well, your appointment actually, but I do want to mention that Berta Alonso served 2 consecutive terms and has expressed interest to stay on board.
So, I mean, in other words, will she fulfill the one vacancy you have?
Yes, sir.
I'll nominate
Okay.
Berta Alonso.
Have a motion to accept Berta Alonso?
Second.
Okay, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank you.
Stephanie.
Item 6, consideration and action to appoint one member to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Mayor, City Commission, I wanted to thank our Commissioner Mariano Garcia. He turned in a letter of resignation. I think he served about 6 years on the P&Z Commission. So we're asking you to replace him today. As you see, his term actually expires on August 17, 2013. There's a couple of other commissioners that expire on August 17th, but we'll come the meeting after that to fulfill those slots. But this one we wanted to fill right away.
Mayor, I would like to move to approve the appointment of Gisela Figueroa.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion for Griselda Figueroa?
Gisela.
Oh, Cristela, I'm sorry. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 7, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2013-017 to rezone from dwelling G classification to medium retail H classification and the removal of the O31 overlay district for 27.3 acres of El Jardín subdivision and Valley Community Hospital subdivision located at 110 Ted Hunt Boulevard.
Mayor, Commissioners, good evening. This case is on close to Ruben Torres from rezoning from dwelling G to 6 commercial. This was before the Planning and Zoning Commission May the 9th. All in favor of the approval of the rezoning.
This is public hearing. Any comments?
Move to close.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 8, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 25-201-019-S to allow a duplex specific use in a dwelling A classification for Lot 20, Block 1 of La Posada, Section 4, located at 4639 Palacio Real.
Again, we have another map projected on the screen. This is for a specific use for a duplex. Again, this was before the Planning and Zoning Commission on May the 9th, and all in favor of the specific use for a duplex.
Is there other duplexes in that area?
There's a couple of behind. Well, actually, there's a church, big church behind, and there's a couple of them on La Posada.
On that same?
Yes. Yes.
Public hearing. Any other comments?
Close.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Approved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 9, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2013-020-S to allow a professional office classification specific use in a dwelling A classification for west half of Lot 2 and all of Lot 3 of Block 1 of West Lawn Park subdivision located at 434 Boca Chica Boulevard.
Again, we have another map projected on the screen on Boca Chica, very close to Russell Street. This is a specific use for a professional office. Again, this was before the Planning and Zoning Commission on May the 9th, and all in favor of the specific use.
Any public hearing?
Move to close.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 10, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2013-021 to rezone from apartment H classification to apartment G classification for the south 14 acres out of Lot 1 of Block 1 of Sportsplex Park located near West San Marcelo Boulevard and Jose Marti Boulevard.
Mayor, City Commission, this is the Brownsville Country Club, and this is the Chase Bank and the Starbucks Plaza here. Initially, there was some confusion with the neighborhood as to what this case actually entailed. This is actually a downzoning. As it stands right now, before your approval, they're allowed 25 units per acre. This is a future apartment project. They are downzoning their project to allow for 12.5 units per acre. We went out to the community, and at this P&Z Commission there was no comment, no opposition, so they unanimously approved the down zone to 12.5 units.
Okay. I think I have someone back there. It's public hearing. Would you come step up, please, and give your name?
I've had lots of opposition to that project.
Because of the congestion.
Yeah. The traffic.
Hi, my name is Jessica Rodriguez. I live in the Brownsville Country Club subdivision, and we never got a letter about these apartments. They just told us these apartments were going to be for housing inside the Brownsville Country Club subdivision. So we are here to oppose.
We just want to, sorry, Roberto Espinosa, also resident of the Brownsville Country Club area. We just wanted to clarify exactly that, if we may know what the plan is with that area, what's the future plans for the downzoning, and what does downzoning mean? To some of us, it means
Sure, go ahead.
Arabic.
So The way it stands right now, you could, the owner of this property could actually go out and build 25 units per acre. At the acreage here, it's about 14 acres. You're looking at like 200 units, más o menos, whatever. It doesn't matter what kind of apartment, right? What they're proposing is they want to go lower. They want to say, I can only build 12.5 units per acre. So it's less apartments. We can probably only get a max of about 100, 115, if the project ever develops. So it's to the benefit of the Brownsville Country Club to downzone this property to the 12.5 units. So that's why we support it.
Ramiro, if logic follows here, in other words, you could put a whole bunch of apartments in that one acre, but now they're saying you can only put half as many, which means you'd have probably nicer ones. That would be my.
That's what we wanted to clarify. I mean, that's what you mean.
If is that correct? Is my logic correct?
I mean, I mean, that could be the case. You know, we really don't know what we don't know if that project that's on the books right now if it's going to go through or not. But the city, the Planning and Zoning Commission, along with the Planning Department, supported the downzone because no matter what, you're getting less of whatever that use is going to be. So that's why we support.
When would we know if the project is gonna?
How will we know as members of that community as to what will be the?
You know, the only way, you know, there'll probably be some other notices that'll be sent out from the project.
We never got the notices.
Well, our zoning notice only goes to for 200 feet from the property. So if you don't live within 200 feet of this property, you didn't get a notice.
And she lives with.
Okay.
And here's what I'm going to suggest to you, Ramiro. Why don't you take the names of all these folks? It doesn't hurt us to let everybody know who's here. I mean, that's what public hearings are all about. And so that these folks that took the time to come to see us should be given notice regardless of, you know, at this particular moment.
Can I?
Sure, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was also going to say, Ramiro, if they don't live within the 200 radius, where can they go to look for something like this? Is there a place on the website that they can look for projects that are coming to their area?
As far as zoning cases, you know, we notify, we post the agenda at City Hall, and we go through the notification process. We send out to, you know, however many residences are within the 200-foot radius.
Is it posted anywhere online, maybe?
That's what I'm saying. Can they look at a place online?
It has not been in the past, but we will.
But they can, it still has to come before the city commission
With the
for
plan.
approval, so they can keep track of the city commission agendas
Right.
to
Exactly.
see if that item is on the agenda, and then you can come and protest.
Yeah.
And when whatever division happens or you know, they get the plan together, then that would be presented as well for approval, or how does that work?
No, it would go for building permit.
Building permits,
Okay.
that's what happens. But
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying that these folks ought to know.
Oh, I
You know, I
agree.
mean, if they took the time to come talk to us.
Yeah, I will report back to them. I'll take their
report-
name down and
that's-
we'll report back
That's
to
not a
them.
tremendous burden on us.
Yeah.
Commissioner Longoria, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, there was a couple of points that maybe I'd like to clarify for you and some of the people that live in maybe information you have not received. There's a misconception that people say it's going to be housing. That's not the case. Any apartment complex that builds within the city of Brownsville, the latest trend when it comes to financing for whatever project you're going to build when it comes to apartments, you go for credits with the state of Texas. That's anybody that wants to build any kind of a complex. You turn to the state for credits. So that means that out of 8 units that are built in one particular part, you'll go for a particular Section 8 or a Section 11 housing, which will help whoever moves in there. That way you qualify for your credits. Of course, you must understand that, you know, when you're building something, it takes millions of dollars. So you try to look for all the different avenues to try to help you. At the city of Brownsville, in our planning and zoning department, this is just clarification. This is not discriminatory. We cannot be looking at, we cannot ask the question, are you going to be housing? That'll be disclosed. But as elected officials, as a person sitting on the P&Z board, we cannot be discriminatory and say we will not allow a housing complex. I'll give you a perfect example. The apartment complex on Paredes Line, right in front of Paseo. I wanted to move in there when it first got built. I was a single man back then, and I wanted to move in there. And I was told that I didn't qualify, and that if I was going to move in, I had to pay like $800 for a 1-bedroom, because they had a specific use, and it was housing. Okay, but like I told you, when it came before the commission on that, it's not ethical. It's not in our interest for us to be asking, is it going to be housing? It comes within the language that's given to us. But like I told you, the current trend right now, the way we look at it, or the way we're supposed to look at it, is right now that's a vacant that's a vacant property that's not producing any money for the city. In order to keep your taxes lower, by having that apartment complex built there, and by the municipality taxing them, it's going to help us in the overall picture, maintaining taxes too low. Put yourself in their shoes. You know, you've got your life savings, you want to put it into a project, and then all of a sudden, well, you know, we want to build her, but the residents that built their dream home, their dreams are built on, and then all of a sudden, you know, this person says, I want to invest into a complex, and then to be told no. You know, it's very difficult to swallow, because you have to look at it, unfortunately, you know, I sympathize, but our job is to look at it holistically and what it's going to do. Of course, we need to provide for you. That's why under our regulations, they must maintain buffers. There must be gates. There must be certain kinds of foliage that must be provided to keep anybody that's living within that area, to maintain the privacy that you maintain at your homes. So that's basically our job. I hope that answers any questions or any concerns.
Well, I've had many people contact me from that area, and I did live there for a very long time in Vista Verde de Condos. That area gets very congested as it is. It bottlenecks in the morning. It's bottlenecked when it floods. It's just a terrible area to add more people. It's just my number one concern, and that's another role that we have, is to look at the bigger picture, and of course not discriminate like you mentioned, but to also take into factor the security issues, number one, safety issues. Do we have the infrastructure in place to sustain another complex where we're going to have, you know, a mass of residents of, yes, maybe 100 apartments, but how many people are going to live in those apartments? Maybe 3, 4 per apartment, possibly. That's a lot of people to put in one area.
Okay, well, I think the case before us tonight, and this is what I kept telling them, is a down zone to 12.5 units. So whatever the future use is going to be, we don't really know what kind of apartments there will be. I mean, that still has yet to be determined. The down zoning is to the benefit of the community. So that is why, you know, that's the case before you tonight. So.
Okay. Anyway, I want these people kept informed, you know, because what happens is, and I think we have one more public.
Yes, I'm sorry. My name is Roberto Solis, and I live there as well. And you addressed what I wanted to ask the city to think of in the future: the infrastructure, the traffic, the streets, the water, everything. That's my comment, and I like the things that you said. But you know,
so make sure you give your name to Ramiro.
Sure.
I want, if you took the time and the interest to come here, you should know exactly what their next steps are, depending on what the commission votes. Okay?
And just to let you all know, over the years, we've been working on Brownsville Country Club, because a lot of people don't know that they're living on clay, and that's why your water doesn't recede.
Nothing grows.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, you know, we've been working through the pond behind, dipping the pond and rerouting the water. A couple of years ago, we worked with the state, where the state was also, they wanted to reroute water, but we took them out of Brownsville Country Club. As you've seen Morrison grow, and you've seen the road develop, you see the new infrastructure that's coming in for water retainage. So in other words, because we know that you live in a floodplain, we've taken the extra measures, and we have precautionary measures at the golf course, just in case of a flood, where we can immediately go into action, and your homes won't be flooded.
My biggest concern right now is Jose Marti is the street. If you all drive through it, you know it's terrible.
Yes, there's
and add, I don't know, you want to add 100 apartments? How many cars per apartment? 1, 2, I don't care. It's extra, the infrastructure. You know, what else is gonna come with it? Improvements. So, I mean, this may not be the place to talk about it, but.
No. But thank you all for your comments, okay?
Thank you.
Mayor, and in the past, we have worked with certain contractors. For example, if Marty's gonna be a problem, and if he's close to the feeder out to 802, which he's not, but we have been able to work with contractors when it comes to widening, if he owns some of the right-of-way, where we can open up and make the street wider.
Okay, kind of take all these comments into consideration. That's what the public hearing is all about.
I'll reach out to them tomorrow.
Yeah. Does anybody else have a public comment on this issue? If not, I'll entertain a motion to close public.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Is there a motion for action, or does somebody want to have more information?
Move to approve.
Move to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Because it reduces it.
Okay, then motion carries. You got.
What can you do?
Item 11, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2013-022 to rezone from apartment F classification to professional office G classification for lots 7 and 8 of block 72 of Brownsville Original Town Site located at 7 East Washington Street.
Mayor, City Commission, this is the a property on the corner of Washington and Palm. As you can see, the rest of this corridor slowly has shifted from residential to shifting, facing on the side street to facing on Palm Boulevard. So P&Z unanimously approved and supported a first commercial rezoning on this corner of Washington and Palm.
What is it next to?
This is it's been a restaurant on and off. This is the high school, and this is a restaurant on and off, and there's some professional services down here.
Central Administrative Building.
Yeah.
Of VISD. Public hearing. Anyone?
Move to close.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Consideration and action on resolution number 2013-031 to approve the allocation of community development block grant funding for the 2013 program year and authorize the city manager or his designate to act as the official representative of the city in matters related to the CDBG program and action plan and declaring an effective date.
Mayor, Commissioners, I am seeking your approval of this resolution. I will read it. Recitals. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development has not yet announced the allocation of entitlement funding under the Community Development Block Grant CDBG program for entitlement communities for the 2013 program year. Because the city has not received an announcement of the funding allocation, the 2013 action plan projects are being funded based on the 2012 CDBG program year allocation in the amount of $2,976,603, less 5% due to sequestration, totaling $2,827,773. The City Commission has determined that a fair and equitable method is in place to allow the city to adjust the 2013 action plan project funding as necessary when the final funding allocation has been announced by HUD. Be it resolved by the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, Part 1, upon receipt of the announcement of the actual 2013 CDBG program year allocation, city staff is authorized to adjust the funding using the following methodology. A, if there is a reduction in the City of Brownsville CDBG allocation, an equal percentage will be reduced from all awarded social service projects, not to exceed 15% per project. If and when 15% is reduced from all social service projects and funding reductions remain, city staff will reevaluate capital projects to determine additional budget reductions. And B, if there is an increase in funding, city staff will select alternates from the ranked list of social service projects not to exceed the 15% federal CDBG regulatory cap on social service spending. Any remaining funds will be distributed to alternate capital projects or to enhance selected capital projects. Part 3, in the event the adjusted amounts are calculated prior to or during the 30-day citizen comment period, the final 2013 action plan will include the adjusted funding amounts. Part 4, the city manager, Mr. Charlie Kabler, or his designee, Ms. Stephanie Reyes, Director of Grant Management and Community Development, is designated as the official representative of the city and is authorized to act in all matters related to the CDBG program and submission of the annual action plan, amendments to the action plan, all documents pertaining to environmental reviews, including but not limited to notices, checklists, certifications, requests for release of funds, all understandings and assurances contained in the action plan, and to provide additional information as required on behalf of the city. Part 5, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after this passage. Adopted, approved, and accepted by the City Commission at a regular meeting thereof held on Tuesday, May 21st, 2013. In a nutshell, Mayor, Commissioners, we don't know the exact amount of funding that's available. And this is typically the situation each year, which is why it's really important that we changed our funding cycle this year and how we go about selecting our projects. As I mentioned prior, there is a scoring criteria that the Brownsville Citizens Advisory Committee is using to evaluate these applications. What I will present to you on August 2nd, I believe, are the list of projects, but I will present to you the list, and you will see those who were ranked highest and were awarded, and you will also see those that we will designate as alternates. Should funding become available, we would then turn back to the list and fund those alternate projects.
I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. I think you got the next one, Stephanie, or not?
Consideration and item 14, consideration and action to award a contract for the purchase and delivery of electrical controls and communication equipment for the supervisory control and data acquisition project.
Mayor, Commissioners, this is equipment necessary to complete what's called a CDBG project. This is this is funding from the Texas General Land Office. There was one bid submitted. Our office concurs with Ambiotech, who are assigned to this project. We highly recommend that the project be awarded to Garco Industries of Pharr, Texas for a bid amount of $371,122.70.
I hear a motion.
Move to approve.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 15, consideration and action to award a contract for the purchase and delivery of 5 ultra-low volume vector control equipment for use by the Public Health Department.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, good evening. Our staff's recommendation is to consider an action to award a contract for the purchase and delivery of 5 ULV vector control equipment used by the Public Health Department to Clark Mosquito Control Products of Roswell, Illinois, with a unit price of $10,293.58. This includes the GPS tracking for an extended price of $51,467.90. Funding for this project is available through the CDBG grant, and our department concurs with this.
I hear a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Commissioner, after 10 years, do you think maybe?
Thank you, Ruth. Would adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.